What's up, everyone? Today we're going to take a look at some of the tools and technology that I use to track and log and make sure that I am getting the most out of my training. In case it's not painfully obvious from a quick look at any of my childhood photos, I'm a bit of a nerd. I'm a numbers guy, and especially when it comes to working out and trying to train smarter, numbers are your friend. I highly recommend tracking your workouts and doing so in a way that allows you to measure and see progress over time. Now, there's a balance. Tracking and logging your workouts does take some time. There's a little bit of overhead associated with it, but I think it's well worth it. And if you set things up in the right way, which I'll take you through how I'm tracking my training, hopefully it shouldn't take too much extra time and will give you some really useful insights into how you're progressing, so that if you have goals set up, you can see how you're tracking towards those goals and make any adjustments that might be necessary in the middle of your training program. So there are a couple pieces of tech that I use that are, or that I would say have been really important, critical to my training. The first thing I would highly recommend is, if you don't have one yet, get yourself a chest strap heart rate monitor. So the one I use is the Polar H10, which you can buy on Amazon. Looks like they're actually offering a discount now. It's $80. I think I paid a little more, but very good product, great reviews, very simple to use, and importantly, very easy to clean. So the sensor itself, let's see here, pops right off. So this little piece, don't throw this in the wash. Make sure to take this off. But the strap itself, I just toss in the wash with my workout stuff, let it air dry, don't put it in the dryer. And I've been using it for, I want to say, about 7 weeks now, and I've been really, really happy with it. It has not failed me yet. So I would highly recommend this or a similar product. I know some folks use heart rate monitors that are built into their watches. So it could be maybe your Apple Watch or a Garmin, or some other watch that has a wrist-based heart rate monitor. I would not recommend that for rowing specifically. I have not used one myself, but I've just from what I have read online, it seems like there are very frequent issues with wrist-based heart rate monitors spitting out wonky data on the rower. Chest strap is definitely the way to go. And if you are rowing and using an erg, specifically a Concept 2 erg, I would highly recommend downloading and installing the ErgData app. So this is available for both Android and iPhone, and is really a complement to the pace monitor. So there are a couple things that are really awesome about the ErgData app. First is that it will give you access to a multitude of data points and metrics that you don't have access to through the pace monitor itself. So for example, your drive length, if you want to see, or you're working to improve the length of your stroke, you can measure that. If you want to count how many strokes you've taken in a particular workout, you can view your stroke count through ErgData. There are, I want to say, more than a dozen, maybe even 20 other metrics that ErgData makes available to you. So that's really cool. Second, and probably the most useful feature for me, is that the ErgData app automatically syncs with your Concept 2 logbook. So if any of you are tracking your workouts and logging your workouts on Concept 2's site via their logbook, the ErgData app will automatically sync and upload your workouts, so you don't have to go in and do manual data entry when you're done. That's also a really, really handy feature. And by syncing with your logbook, you actually get access to a whole bunch of other reports, which I'll I'll show you an example of in a minute. You can go pretty deep down the rabbit hole with your workout data if you want. In terms of tracking, there are a few different apps that I use to track my workouts. And as I just mentioned, Concept 2 has one already built into their site, right? So Concept 2 has its Logbook, which has some pretty basic functionality. So as you might guess, you can log your workouts manually. So in my case, I never really have to do this unless I'm doing a workout somewhere else. Let's say I'm traveling and I use a rower in a hotel, or I have to do my workout at the office gym. I will, of course, go in and log it manually, but day to day when I'm in the garage, all of my workouts sync through the app. So the cool thing about the Logbook is it will, of course, track your totals, and it will give you can view your workout history. So Concept 2 groups things by season. Their season goes from May 1st to April 30th of the following year. And you can go back and look at your full workout history. Now, just as an example of how far deep down the rabbit hole you can go. So if I click into a particular workout, this was my 30 rate 20 workout from this past weekend. Obviously, it gives you the top level metrics, your distance rode, your time, your pace, calories. And if you're wearing a heart rate monitor and you're syncing that to the pace monitor when you're on the rower, it will report that as well. It gives you some nifty charts. I don't really look at these all that often, if I'm totally honest, but just helpful to see, how consistent was I with stroke rate, how consistent was I in pace, how was my heart rate trending over the course of a workout. What is really cool, if you want to, you can actually even download stroke data. I would recommend for most folks download it as a CSV. That way you can import it into Excel or into a Google Sheet if you would like. I'll show you a quick example. So I downloaded the CSV file for my 30 rate 20 workout, and here it is. So literally a stroke by stroke output of the workout. It is giving me, for every single stroke of the workout, the elapsed time, the distance, the pace, watts, calories per hour, stroke rate, heart rate, all the way through the entirety of the workout. For anyone who wants to really, really go deep and maybe do some other visualizations or graph certain data points, Concept 2 makes it pretty easy to pull all this data from the site. So that is super cool. So another app that I use and actually have used for a long time is Strava. Now, Strava is certainly geared more towards runners and cyclists. So over time, they've added new features and new integrations to expand their reach beyond just runners and cyclists. Strava has a really cool integration with the ErgData app. So, and I forget where it is in the app, in the ErgData app settings, but you can go and basically link that app to your Strava profile so that when you finish your workout on the rower, as long as you're using the ErgData app, it will automatically upload your workout to Strava as well. So when I finish my workouts on the Erg, they're auto uploaded both to the Concept 2 logbook and also to Strava. Now, I don't use Strava really for any actual, analysis. It's more just because I have basically my full workout history going back to 2012 in it. So just for the sake of completeness, I'd like to make sure that I'm capturing all these workouts there as well. One neat view though that Strava does have is, and you have to be a paid subscriber to actually view this, but they have a view of your, or they just call it the training log. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Am I able to do that? Yeah. Okay, there we go. So it's just a nice visual way to reflect and kind of take a look at all your training. If I go back to let's just say last summer, June, July. Wow. So June, July, 2023, I mean, you can see I was doing virtually nothing. I think I put in a few rides on the Peloton in May, but if I go forward and look at May, June, had some hikes in there. I guess August I started lifting weights a little bit. I got a couple rows in and a few runs, but nothing really consistent. Same in September. October I got on the rower a few times, got a few short runs in as well. It wasn't really though until the beginning of November that I started getting back on the rower with any regularity. So this was just a really helpful visualization and way for me to appreciate, like, okay, I haven't actually done all that much training in the grand scheme of things, right? It's been a pretty intense 3 months, but it's only been really 3 months that I've been putting in serious work. So this was just a really helpful reflection for me, just looking back over my progress up until the 2K race. So anyways, Strava's great. Do I use it a lot day to day? Not so much. But since I've been a paying subscriber for a long time, might as well keep it going. Now, I also keep my own spreadsheet, which, again, I'm a bit of a numbers junkie. I've moonlighted as an analyst in my day job here and there, so I'm very comfortable with big spreadsheets and building models and doing a lot of analysis. Now, this might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I really enjoy it. I'll go in and log all my workouts. And I don't do this every day. I'll typically batch them together, or I'll maybe go in once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I'll just kind of batch add everything to my tracker. But I set up my own table here that captures, I think, the most important data points and information about any particular workout. And what's really cool, and certainly this is still a work in progress, is that I can take this raw information that I've put in on this tab, and I can go and build a bunch of tables, right? I can view different summaries of my training. I can look at, let me just give you some examples here. So let's say I want to see, of all the time I've spent training in a given month, how much of that time was in UT2, or oxygen utilization 2, which for rowers is where you're really supposed to do a lot of your steady state work. I can very easily see that in January, for example, I spent 73% of my total training time in UT2, which I think the guideline is, somewhere between 70 to 80%. So that tells me, cool, I'm splitting my time, or I'm allocating my time ballpark as I should be in my training overall. I can, of course, very easily see total meters rowed. I'm tracking runs as well, so my rowing and my running totals. And then it's very easy for me to then track over time how I'm progressing across any particular discipline or distance, or for any workout type. I can very easily see what my progress has been. So I'm even going as far as to see how much has my average wattage, my average power output increased over time. You'll notice, for example, even looking at my 2K, I don't even have split here, because ultimately what I care about is how much power am I able to sustain, right, over any given period of time or for any given workout. So I'm still playing around with this. I'm sure over time these views will change, but this is the type of kind of data analysis, and just, for me, this is fun to set this kind of stuff up. I will post the link to this exact spreadsheet in the video description below. So if you would like to take a closer look, a deeper look at how I've set this up, you're more than welcome to do so. If you would like to even make a copy of it and repurpose it and use it for your own training, you're more than welcome to. Knowledge is power, and that's true in all facets of life, but certainly is true when it comes to working out and training smart as well. Just as an example of how powerful having this data can be in your training, the average pace from my 2K race last Saturday was within 1/10 of a second of the target pace that I had set in my 2K race plan, or as my goal for the race. Now, I was only able to set that goal pace because I had done enough workouts beforehand, I had tracked them diligently, and I had monitored my progress over time, so that I felt confident, relatively confident in my ability to actually hit that specific pace on race day. Having more data at your fingertips will, can certainly help give you confidence, which on the rowing machine, confidence is key. So if you haven't started tracking, or you're not really tracking your workouts at all on a regular basis, I would highly, highly encourage you to. You don't need to set up an elaborate spreadsheet the way I have. Even just downloading the ErgData app and using the concept to Logbook, which is free, by the way. Both the app and the Logbook are free to use. That would be a great first step. And as you get more comfortable using the data, you may want to expand and start tracking things in a bit more detail. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, until next time, take care of yourselves, keep chasing, peace.